the poster boy for the California law that allowed men to declare they want to go to women's prisons just blew up in California's face because the guy that got the law passed, who was already in prison, just got busted for 2 counts of rape in a woman's prison. Wow. Who could have seen that coming? Well, how many times have we discussed the insanity that's going on in some prison administrations where they're putting men in with the women in prison if the man decides he wants to be Becky instead of Barney? Well, California is the worst at this. And here's an example of why this shouldn't happen. There's a 51-year-old guy, Tremaine Dion Carroll. He's an incarcerated biological male who, after the law changed that men get to pick their prisons, men or women prisons, he decided that he wanted to go to the women's prison. And it was allowed. And you're not going to believe this, but almost instantaneously, he committed 2 charges of forcible rape and a 3rd charge of dissuading a witness from testifying. The woman was pretty seriously messed up. And finally, the prison commission stepped in and moved him to a male prison over his objection. Now, this guy, Tremaine Dion Carroll, was the face of the campaign in the state of California for Senate Bill 132 that allows transgender prisoners to be housed in a facility consistent with their gender identity. So he was the poster boy for this.
Wow.
The guy that said, well, I identify as a female and I want to go to a female prison. I don't know how they could have predicted that rape would follow, but it did. It turns out that there's an organization called WOLF, the Women's Liberation Front. It's a radical feminist organization, and they oppose policies that biological males can be in women's prisons. And they have 4 inmates that have already been assaulted that are saying, get the men out of our prison. Don't forget, you don't lose your right to be protected because you're in prison, but you are incarcerated. But you're not supposed to be beat up and raped and assaulted and so on, right? So this guy got away with it. He was their poster boy, and now he's going to be tried for 2 counts of rape and dissuading a witness from testifying against him. There are now, get this, 50 men that have already been placed in the women's prison system and hundreds on the waiting list. And
wait. And hundreds on the waiting. You know what, Barry? Look, I don't ever plan on going to prison. Okay.
Good plan.
But in Biden's America, you know, anything can happen. I want to go to the women's prison. I'm sorry. I will go on the waiting list. It's funny, but not funny. Right? Well, it's funny, but not funny.
I don't know what to say. This is unbelievable. This guy said, quote, I know what it feels like to live in fear and carry the weight of the past abuse by men, but I'm not a threat.
Oh, my goodness.
And within a year, he's committing more rapes.
Oh, my goodness.
This is a guy that went to jail for this stuff. And how could they have predicted this coming? He started at 15, grand theft property, possession of firearms, 1st and 2nd offenses under California's 3 strikes law, 2 counts of robbery, 3 counts of oral copulation in concert by force, and on and on and on. Kidnapping.
He should have never been put in there in the first place.
For robbing a jewelry store, possession of a metal wire shank, 4 more years in prison, adding to his 25. This guy's got a list this long of felonies, but they put him in the women's prison. What did he do? And nobody could see that coming. Except you and me.
Again, Barry, how are we even talking about these stories? Is this you know what?
We need to alert our viewers that this stuff's going on.
Yeah, but I mean, the fact that it's actually happening, it's like, are we reading a fake story? Are we reading a novel or something? Like, this is not because this should never, my God, when you join the military should be like men, women. You're a man, you're here. You're a woman, you're here. Doctors, when you treat your patient, you're a man, okay, you're a woman. That's it. You're a police officer, you treat him like a man or you treat her like a woman. That's it. Reality needs to kick in somewhere. When you commit a crime and you go to a prison, you're a man, you go to the prison with men. You're a woman, you go to prison with women. At some point, reality is getting bent and getting twisted. And it's the sick people, Barry, that allowed this sick man to go into prison with women. They should go to prison themselves. I mean, what is happening here? It's a no-brainer. It's so maddening.
At least he's back in a men's prison now where he can be taken out of the prison for the trial that's going to add another 20 years to his 25 years to life sentence. He's going to die in prison. And chances are, even in California, they're not going to send him back to a woman's prison because there's hundreds of people on the waiting list ahead of him now.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Aren't you glad you got out of California?
Yeah, it's almost like 100 people, hundreds of people on a waiting list to go into a country club where you're the man and you just have free reign to rape women. Criminals are like, you know what? I'll go on that waiting list. If I can go on that waiting list and I just have free reign all these, to these women.
Oh, young
women, older women.
They take showers together. They're locked up in cells together. They're not supervised, 3/4 of the day. Unbelievable.
Some of these women probably welcome it.
I don't know. Not the ones that got raped.
No, of course, not the ones, but just the ones that probably around, 450. They're probably welcome it.